Welcome to Sip and Say with Stephanie. Hey, good people, how are you doing tonight? I am doing all right tonight. I'm actually a little tired tonight. And in all honesty, I am slightly distracted tonight. Like I got home this evening at about 50 minutes ago. And I was like, well, I'm gonna just go ahead and eat a little something before I go on. I have all of my news stories ready, but I'm just distracted. I know why I am distracted, but I'm just a little distracted tonight, y'all. But I'm good. I'm feeling like physically, I'm feeling tired. Emotionally, I'm feeling at about 50%. Mentally, I'm feeling at about 60%. Other than that, everything is well. I don't have anything to complain about. I'm just sharing this is how it's going. This is how it's going right now. But I am forever thankful. It doesn't even really matter how at what percentage I'm at or what capacity I am at. I'm alive. I am well. I am thankful. I am humbled. I am grateful. Let me just tell you, I was out and about this week. I don't even know what I was doing, but I was out and about this week, and I think it was on Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. And I was thinking about the heat because, see, I think I've told you all this before, but I ride with my windows down. It doesn't really matter what the temperature is, what the degree is. I ride with all four of my windows down. And if somebody's in the car with me, then I'll turn my air on because I want to make sure that they're comfortable while they're riding with me. And so I was feeling the heat, and I normally, feel the heat on my right side, and I need that vitamin D, so I welcome it in. I keep a aluminum bottle of water. I keep my recycled water bottle with me, sometimes two, because I have a big 128 ounce, and then I have a 64 ounce. Sometimes I take them together. Sometimes I have the 64 ounce and then another aluminum container. Like I have a few aluminum containers, probably more than one person needs, but I have multiple sizes and ounces to accommodate my needs. Because even when I'm around town, just going wherever around town, I'm going to have some water with me because I never know when I need to take a drink or I'm going to get hydrated. I'm dehydrated or feeling, at least, I don't think I've ever been dehydrated, but at least feeling, let me just say feeling thirsty. It's not necessarily dehydrated, but feeling thirsty. I never know if my trip is going to take longer than I plan for it to take. So I usually keep some water with me just going around town. And so I have multiple, so I take multiple, aluminum bottles out with me. So anyway, I have my water with me. I just got off on a tangent there. I had my water with me, and I was feeling the heat, and I was like feeling it this particular day. So I think it was like midday, the sun was beaming. And I said, you know what, God, I'm not going to complain that I'm hot and sweat. I'm going to have to take the tissue, wipe the face, which I normally don't have to do, but I did have to do that this particular day. I said, God, I'm thankful that I'm allowed to feel this heat. I'm glad to be alive to feel the heat. It's hot out here. Yes, it is. It is hot in her. So it was hot, but I was thankful to be alive to feel the heat, to experience the heat. And so while I am tired and I'm emotionally halfway, I am thankful. One thing that will remain is gratefulness. I am grateful, 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 gratefulness is flowing from my heart. Grateful, grateful, grateful. I'm grateful for so many things. If I started to tell you, I would not have enough time. I would like run out of time. We'd be into the next day morning. But I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for life. I'm thankful for health and strength, activity of my limbs. I'm thankful that I have a roof over my head. I'm thankful that I have a car to drive because at one time I did not for several years. I am thankful that I'm able to pay my bills and have enough to buy groceries. I am thankful for Everything, just absolutely everything, even the things that are still a little shady or shaky in my life right now. I am thankful for those things as well because I'm yet alive to be able to get those shaky things on stable foundation. So I'm thankful, 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 grateful, grateful, grateful. Hallelujah. God is yet good and He is good all the time. Sometimes the things that we experience in life don't feel good, but God is still good. I'm gonna just tell you, you may not agree, and that's okay. We can agree to disagree. It's all right. But but God is good all the time. He just good all the time, and it just is what it is. He good all the time. Again, the things that are happening in our lives don't always feel good, but God is still good. Even when we're going through our tests and our trials, and we don't know how we're going to make ends meet, and we don't know how this marriage is going to last, or what's going to happen with my kids that I'm estranged from, God yet remains good. He yet remains faithful. He yet remains on his throne. And regardless of who's in charge in the White House, or the state capitol buildings and state U.S. House of Representatives offices, and I said U.S., but I meant state House of Representative office, state senators, U.S. senators, our local government, regardless of who's in charge at the local, state, and national level, God is in charge of it all. Hear me when I tell you, God is in charge of it all. You might say, well, God is in charge. Why is He allowing this to happen or allowing that to happen? Well, let me tell you, there is an enemy. His name is Satan, and he is in charge. He's a prince of the power of the air. And he does what he does. So you want to say, well, God, why are you allowing this? Because God is not going to usurp his authority over us. We have free will to do what we do. We have free will to do the good we do. We have free will to do the bad that people do. Free will. We are not forced to do anything. We have a choice whether to do this or that, or whether to make this decision or that decision. And then you can go on and say, well, Stephanie, what if somebody's holding a gun in my head? I don't have a choice then. It's a horrible choice that you might have to make, but there's still, it's still a choice. It still is a choice. And so God is good. Regardless, God is good. In spite of, God is good. Hallelujah. So regardless of how I'm feeling, I give honor and praise to God, who is the head of my life and the keeper and sustainer of my life and the provider for me and my house. And so I thank God for that. So the January 6th hearings are tonight at 8 p.m. I am going to try to get finished before 8 p.m. so that you can go and watch the preliminary, not the preliminary, but watch the January 6th hearings if you so choose. That was actually going to be my last report, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you about it first in case you want to listen in. So I don't know who's testifying tonight. I did not look that up to see, but the select committee to investigate January 6th resumes again at 8 p.m. Check your local listings for the stations that will be showing the hearings. You can actually go on the Senate website for the January 6th, or for the select committee investigating January 6th. You can go on the website and watch it live. I'm pretty sure there are several news outlets that you can watch the hearings on. I'm not going to start naming any. I just, again, check your local listings for it. And it begins at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, at least. And I just wanted to mention, since I'm announcing the resuming of the select committee hearings, I wanted you to know, in case you hadn't heard, that on July 15th, a subpoena was issued to Secret Service for them to release records, in particular records, of course, pertaining to January 6th. The Inspector General of the Department of Homeland Security, General Joseph B. Cuffery, I hope I said your name right, Mr. Kufari. I want to say Kafari, but Kufari, if you know, let me know. I don't mind being corrected. I'm trying to use my phonemic awareness I learned many years ago. But he offered a briefing to the House committee, and he said, that they are having ongoing access issues. He also noted that many of the United States Secret Service text messages from January 5th and 6th, 2021 were erased as part of a device replacement system. A device replacement system. And you can find the letter to Director Maury. You can actually find that on the website for the Select Committee. I will add, let me make a note to add it to the description so that you can read that letter for yourself and get some more information about that for yourself. Ongoing access issues with the Department of Homeland Security. And many of the I know I'm reading this twice, it's a reason. Many United States Secret Service text messages from January 5th and 6th, 2021 were erased, this is a quote, as part of a device replacement program. So after the January 6th Capitol riots, and all of a sudden the U.S. Secret Service needs some new devices. Let me give you my teacher look. All of a sudden now they need some new devices. Y'all, I don't know how that works. Like, I don't know how Homeland Security works, Secret Service works as it relates to their technology equipment. I've never researched it. I don't know how it works. But that sounds shady. I'm gonna just say it how I feel it. This sip and say what's that mean? That to me sounds shady. Shady. Something is awry. Something is awry that a device replacement program would be happening around the same time. Now, granted, if the device replacement program was scheduled prior to the conversations that were happening around January 6th, then that would be a different conversation, or I would have a different thought about it. And I don't know how long Donald Trump and whoever else was working with him, I don't know how long they were planning for January 6th to happen. I don't know if it was weeks or months, because I have not looked at a timeline, nor have I researched a timeline. But if information was already out about January 6th, and then, oops, we better do a device replacement program so that we can eliminate or potentially eliminate any criminating evidence, then we need to put this in place. I can't say if that really happened. I'm just talking. So I don't know. I'm kind of now. I'm gonna have to write a note now. Now I'm gonna have to do a timeline search of when information was put out concerning January 6th through various media platforms. I'm just gonna say media platforms. All right. So that's January 6th. That was actually going to be my story 5, but since I announced that the hearings will resume at 8, wanted to share that with you. Make sure that you tune in so that you can hear firsthand information given out by the leaders of the Select Committee, as well as those who are testifying concerning the Select Committee, or excuse me, concerning the January 6th as subpoenaed by the Select Committee. All right. So I am going to go on to our first story. I don't know if I want to do Uvalde. Yeah, let me go ahead and give you an update about Uvalde. It's so interesting because I met with my family this week and had an opportunity to have lunch with them this week. I was out of town on one day this week, and it was close enough where my family, we got together, and my mom presented a question about, hey, Aunt Wanda, glad for you to join us. About Uvalde. And so we got to having conversations about Uvalde. So wanted to give you an update. Y'all, this gets more and more, you know, there, as we probably, all the free world probably has heard, or at least knows by now, or I should say knows, or at least have heard by now, that the police video footage, or the police cam video footage, the police video cam footage, I'm gonna get it right. The police video cam footage was released. And I'm not even going to go there right now. I'm just going to give you the information I have, and then we can talk. So there is a report that went out. It's a 77-page report, preliminary report that has gone out based on, I don't even know who's doing the research, you all, of this. I didn't read the full report. So I don't know who did the research on this. So let me write it down. Who did the research? So who did the 77 pages? I'm actually going to put the link in the description. Let me put a note. If I don't write it down, y'all, I forget. That's why I'm doing it during this broadcast, right? So put the link in the description so I will not forget, because sometimes I say I'm gonna put a link in and I don't, because I honestly forget about it. Because again, if I don't write it down, I cannot guarantee that I'm gonna remember, because I cannot rely on my memory. It just is what it is. Praise the Lord. We got to know our strengths and know our areas of growth. And so it's a 77-page preliminary report that was put out concerning the Uvalde shooting at Robb Elementary School. Based on the report, it was noted that there was some issues with maintaining the locks at the school. Room 111, which was one of the rooms that the gunman entered or was able to get in. I don't know if it was the actual room he got in or if it was the adjoining room, but between the two, it was one of the rooms that the gunman was in. And so there was some concerns about locking the door. And so there was a maintenance request according to the report, but the locks on the door never did get fixed. And so there were some issues there, okay? There was issues with timely notification about the shooting, like notifying the school staff that this shooting is happening. Everybody didn't know in a timely, it's thought that not all staff members were informed in a timely manner to, you know, go through their safety procedures. They blamed, or they indicate, I shouldn't say they blamed, but they indicated faultiness in the Wi-Fi system. And I'm gonna give you the reports and then I'm gonna come back to all of this, or to a few of these things. It was said that the Uvalde school police chief, Pete Arendado, who is currently on administrative leave, they said that he did not take his responsibility of incident command. He did not stand fully firm. I'm saying fully firm, but he did not stand in his authority as an incident command. In other words, he didn't take his authority, thus he did not give out the right directions, the right guidance for the law enforcement officers who were there to do whatever they needed to do. So this, again, this is just the preliminary report, and this is what was said in the point in the report. They did not think that he assumed his rightful position as the incident command in this situation. There were, you all, now this piece of information shocked me because I didn't know this. There were, I was gonna see if I could see what I'll do see better. There were 376 responders from various agencies on scene. Did y'all hear what I said? There were 376 responders from various agencies on scene. There were 16 individuals from the San Antonio Police Department, the SWAT team. We know that's Special Weapons and Tactics. So the SWAT team, San Antonio Police Department, 16. There were 16 individuals from the Uvalde Sheriff's Office. We know Sheriff's Office is county. We got to vote them in county. There were 25 Uvalde Police Departments, or 25 individuals from the Uvalde Police Department. There were 91 individuals from the Texas Department of Public Safety. There were 14 individuals from the Department of Homeland Security. And there were 149 Border Patrol. That's a lot of people on scene. I didn't listen to much of the audio of the video that was released of police video cam footage. I did not watch the entire video or even the clip that was released by the department and seen through news media and other media outlets. I did not watch the full video. I do remember hearing a law enforcement person, I don't know which agency he was from, which one of there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 reported responders from various agencies on scene. So among those 6 agencies that were on scene, I don't know which agency this individual was from, but I do remember hearing an individual sounded like a male voice talking to the gunman. I cannot remember. I heard what he said at the moment I was listening, but it's been a couple of days, so I don't remember what was said. But I do know that at least one individual that I heard was talking to the gunman. This is my thoughts on the various responders there, but a wait time of 77 minutes. It has been reported that there was a lapse time of 77 minutes before law enforcement agencies took action against the gunman. That's a long time. That's a long time. So my thought on that is, I don't know if anybody knew who was in charge, because I'm thinking about, and I know this case is a little different, but what I'm thinking about is the shooting that happened a few months ago, and I can't remember the young man's name, but I'm looking at the video, police cam video in my mind, where this young man was sleeping on the couch and law enforcement agents came in, and he did have a gun beside him that he was licensed to carry, so he picked it up and they shot and killed him. Well, what I'm thinking is there were so many voices speaking to him, he couldn't decipher who was talking, what they wanted him to do. There were so many commands coming at him, so he didn't know what to do. He was asleep, and so he woke up with these people rushing him with a gun. So, quite now, our first response is to protect ourselves. Our Second Amendment right. Y'all want to talk about Second Amendment? Don't take my guns away from me. He had a licensed kid to carry a gun, wanting to protect himself, and got killed for it. So, but the point that I want to hone into is that so many voices were coming at him. He didn't know what they were saying. It was probably garbled because, they're all trying to give him directions. You don't know, you can't decipher through that. You just waking up, So that's what it puts me in the mind of with this Uvalde case. In this case, it seems like there were no voices giving out commands. There was no guidance. There was nothing happening, is what it seems to me. I don't have the full story because I wasn't there, and I don't even know if the full police cam video has been released to the public. I don't know if that's the full video or if that's just a piece of the video. I can't say. But it seems like nobody was in charge because nobody was giving out directions, which is why in the report it talked about the police chief of Uvalde, the Uvalde School Police Chief, Pete Arredondo, not taking his rightful place as command of this particular incident. You are the police chief of this school system. You are the one that should have been giving directions to the other agencies that came on the scene. Now that I do believe. I do believe he should have been giving directions to the other agencies on site. He should have been getting whatever information that needed to come to him. He should have been dispensing that information out so that the other agencies could respond accordingly. I believe that with all that is in me, I believe that. Now, if he would have taken his rightful place as command, and then maybe Homeland Security came and said, okay, we'll take it over from here, we the US, then that would have been different. Then, you relinquish command, you give it to the next person in charge. But it is reported that he did not even take the first authority of command, like he didn't take the first command at all. It has been reported, and that's a problem. Yeah, that's a problem. So with all of these individuals, these 376 folks on site, like, come on now, y'all. If a mama can run in and get her 2 kids up out of there, then come on, y'all. 376. I don't know if all 376 individuals or responders, I don't know if they were all armed. I'm assuming that they were all armed, that they at least had one gun on them, if not a couple of guns on their person. I'm assuming y'all heard what I said. I'm assuming that every single one of these 376 individuals were armed, locked and fully loaded, is what I'm assuming. Now, if a mama can run in and get her kids without a gun, what was y'all doing? I mean, come on now, what was y'all doing? Okay, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going. I want to get to the issues with the locks. So when I was in the classroom, we kept our doors locked. Like, I don't know what they do in Uvalde or in this particular, it was the independent consolidated school district. I don't know what other school districts do across the United States or even in my state, but I know what we did at my particular school. We kept our doors locked. I had a key to my office, of course, and of course the administrators had a key to the office. If you were not an administrator and if you wanted to come in Miss Humphrey's classroom, you had to do this. And depending on who you were, I might not let you in. Because I'm in here teaching, me and my kids be doing our work. Why you knocking the door? You had to be let into to my related services. Y'all know I work with EC children with special needs. When occupational therapists, speech therapists, the physical therapists, the assistive technology individuals, when they needed to come in my room, they had to knock. We're not leaving doors open. Let me backtrack. We're not leaving Miss Humphrey's door open up in here because I don't know what might happen round and about this school. All I know is that I'm responsible for these 18 kids that I have in my classroom. Well, I think my top number was like 16 one year. So these 16 kids, they my responsibility. And that was just the one day I had, fluctuating children based on the day, based on their IEP. But me and my IAs are responsible for these kids, but I'm the teacher of the classroom. So ultimately I am responsible. And so I kept them doors locked, and so I can't say, why the school system did not maintain the locked doors in this particular school. According to the report, there was a history of safety measures or safety concerns, not safety measures, but safety concerns. And potentially the teachers were they probably have put in a work order, because when we have issues, at least at the schools that I were in, when we had an issue with maintenance or whatever, like one time we had something was going on with our water fountain, kids couldn't get their water, so we ended up getting bottles of water for the kids because they had to have something to drink. We're coming in from outside. We kept cups in the classroom for the kids, so we usually would let them go to the water fountain and get water, but that time that our water fountain, something was going on with it, we got bottled water, and so I had the water ready for the children. When they came in, they washed their hands, they would drink their water and keep it moving. And even for the kids who had trouble like drinking from the water fountain, I would have their cups ready, while the other kids, who could, drank from the water fountain. So whatever, locks, there were cabinets that I wouldn't lock because I wanted to keep the children's personal information in there. We had to put a maintenance request. So I don't know if this teacher, that the late teacher of room 111, I don't know if they put in 5 requests, 3 requests, 10 requests, 15 requests. I don't know, how they do their system in Uvalde, but apparently there was it was known that there were lock issues on the doors and it just didn't get fixed. It is possible that maintenance was like, well, it's the end of the year, we'll get it next year. I don't know. I do remember that it took me, y'all, calling and emailing folk because something was going on in my room and it was a safety concern for my kids. And it took me calling, emailing. I went through the proper channels because there is a chain of command. I went through the proper channels. That didn't work. I went to the next up. That didn't work. I went to the next up. Because see, my kids are my responsibility when they are with me. And they're gonna have what they need, and my classroom is gonna be safe for them. Like we ain't got time to play no games up in here. And so I don't know what their procedures were. I don't know who may have dropped the ball on that. I can't say. I guess, we kept the doors locked. Me and all three, both of my assistants, all three of us had keys to come in and out when we needed to go out to do whatever we needed to do and come back in. So that bothered me to know that they had a failed lock system, which could have potentially, it was a factor in the gunmen getting into this particular crisis. It was a factor. I'm just gonna say it. I'm not putting the blame on nobody. I'm just saying it was a factor. Okay. There was issues with the intercom system. So, child, my intercom system in my classroom was so doggone loud. In my last classroom, we put cardboard over the intercom system because it was just loud, y'all. And we complained because some of my kids would be doing this because I would be sometimes because it was just so loud. And so we did. I think I ended up putting a work order in for that, and seemed like maintenance came and they did something to it, but it was still loud. It just wasn't as loud. I told y'all, I'm gonna put a work order. If it's for my kids, I'm gonna do whatever my kids need, even as what you might think something as simple as turning down the volume on the intercom so that my kids aren't scared when the principal comes over the intercom, or when we do the morning announcements. We did a morning minute where we did exercises and different things. We did Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Like, there were things that happened over the intercom that we heard every single day. And I did not want my kids to be scared when they came to school and when they came to my classroom. So yes, I did put a work order. They turned it down, won't by much, but it was a little, it was a little bit better. But so our intercom worked well. But I am sure, in old buildings where the wires are faulty, there probably were some connectivity issues. They actually said it was poor Wi-Fi. So I don't know how our intercom system worked at the school. I think ours was an old school system which was before Wi-Fi even came on the scene. Where you got to do at first for the schools when I was growing up, you had a little like a little speaker that you would do it. But the system that we had at the last school I was at least, because I've been up to the office when they were making announcements, they would do it over the phone. Some kind of way it was connected to the phone, and our phone was hardwired. It was not a Wi-Fi phone, it was hardwired. But some schools may use Wi-Fi phones because maybe that's a less expensive cost for them. And so, our intercom system worked at least in my room, but I don't know, there could have been other intercom systems that didn't work as well as mine did, or what have you. So that bothered me because to me, the locks bothered me when I was reading about it, and the intercom system bothered me because as a teacher, I understand that those concerns are real, and though to me, that's something so simple that could have been fixed by maintenance. And so I don't know again, like who dropped the ball on that or exactly what happened. But to me, those things were like kind of those two particular things were unpreventable. Like they didn't have to be a factor in this preliminary report that was given out. So those two really bothered me. Okay. Last thing I'm going to say about this, well, not the last thing, but I am going to share this, y'all. Within the 77-page report about the Uvalde shooting at Robb Elementary School, there was information about the shooter, himself. I cannot remember his name. I looked right at his name and didn't write it down. But they talked about how he had issues at home with his mom. His mom had some concerns with substance abuse, and so he was estranged from his family or from his mom. It did talk about how he asked family members to purchase guns for him and they would have been purchased illegally, so his family members did not purchase the guns for him. And so that was good to know that 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 family did not kind of help him out in that way. That was good to know. But the thing that bothered me is when they were talking about he had issues at home, they also indicated very clearly that there was no father figure. I'm gonna take my glasses off for this. I want it to be very, very clear. Just because there is no male in the home or no father figure does not mean that folks are going to go, or that children, teenagers are going to go down a wrong path. I'm going to say that again. Just because there's no male, M-A-L-E, male in the home, or no father figure in the home does not mean that children are going to go down a negative path. I grew up in a single parent home. Granted, I had my granddaddy, I did have my uncles, I did have male father figures, and I thank God for that. But I grew up in a single parent household. Well, I grew up in a family household until I was 16, and then it was a single parent household. But Lord knows I ain't thinking about shooting up nobody, y'all. I'm just saying, like, just because there's no male does not mean a child is going to go down a wrong path. Okay, just like there could be a male in the home, or a father figure in the home, or a father figure in that child's life that could lead them down a path of destruction. So I understand that report was giving information about the shooter's life, but y'all, this not 1932, where the husbands and wives were both in the house together. So anyway, maybe I'm being a little too sensitive about that topic, or about that topic. And if I am, that's okay. Y'all put it in the chat. If I'm being too sensitive about them mentioning there was no father figure, y'all add it to the chat, add it to the comment section. I will take the constructive criticism. I will take it, but I'm still a little salty about it. I'm gonna say how I feel about it. I'm still a little salty about it. Hallelujah. And I have brothers, y'all. Again, we grew up with our family there. Our family was there to help support my mom, but they didn't go down no wrong path. Like, they're working, they take care of their families and things like that. And so I was a little salty about that part of the report, but it happened. I also want to share that there was I can't remember if it was a county commissioner meeting or a city council meeting, but there was an official meeting that happened over the last few days, and the Uvalde parents, they was not having it. Like, y'all, they talked about how the last meeting they had, that they were given a time limit, and one parent was like, I don't care nothing about no time limit. We're not gonna stick to no time limit. The parent didn't say it like that. That's just me. I'm exaggerating. That's just me saying it like that. I think it was a male parent. And so he was like, I'm not like a dad. We're not gonna stick to no time. Y'all are not going to silence us. We are here. We're gonna speak out. We're gonna keep speaking out. And I was like, power to the people, brother. That's what I'm talking about. But I will have to say, I know that families have things to say, but there is during the public comment time, there is a time limit that you gotta be respectful of. I'm just saying. Now, you can yield your time. I don't know how they do in Uvalde, but there should be, I'm gonna say should be, because I've gone to school board meetings, but this was not a school board meeting. It was I don't know what kind of meeting it was. I can't remember if it was city council committee. I don't know what kind of meeting it was. But the school board meetings that I've been to, you can yield your time. Now, I've been to some county commissioner meetings, and I can't remember if you can yield your time. I think you can, but I'm not as familiar with their procedures as I am like a school board meeting. But, if you need more than the 2 minutes or the 3 minutes that they allow you, ask somebody to use their time. Somebody that don't want to speak, tell them to sign in and yield their time to you. That's the way to do it. Because even though you have something to say, let's all be respectful of each other. Even if you're angry, even if you're ready to slice somebody, I know you ain't gonna slice somebody at the city council, the county, but if you want to, now let's say you're gonna do it, if you just you feeling that, you still have to follow the rules and procedures that are outlined within their, guidelines and procedures. I know that's hard to hear, y'all. And I'm saying this to myself just as much as I'm saying it to you, because I don't like to be told what to do. I like to make my own rules, march to the beat of my own drum, do my own thing. I get it. I understand. When you got something to say, you want to say it. That's why I got to sit and say with Stephanie, I can stay on YouTube until tomorrow morning at 3 a.m. if I want to. I'm not going to, because I need to get to bed and get rested, for the weekend. But I'm just saying this platform allows me to make my own rules. As long as I'm following YouTube rules, I can make my own rules for my programming. So I get it. But come on, Uvalde parents. I know y'all angry and I know you want answers, and I understand that. And I respect that, but we still got to follow the rules, okay? My prayer and my hope for the Uvalde families is that they get the answers that they need. Right now, I feel like the law enforcement agencies are more concerned about covering their tail than they are about being upfront and integritous about what happened in Uvalde at Robb Elementary School. That's what I feel. I feel like they are more interested in covering their tail. And I know it's hard to, and let me say this too, at the meeting, the parents asked for the school district to go ahead and fire the school police chief, Pete Arredondo. He is on administrative leave still. And the parents asked if we could just fire him, just fire his hind parts. Fire his tail is what I want. They just want him fired. They want him fired. They also called for the firing or resignation of other individuals. I didn't write that down, but I was either reading it or listening to it a couple of days ago. So they did call for the firing or resignation of other individuals. I feel like we need some more answers before folks start getting fired and folks start getting resigning. I wasn't going to stay on this long, but I'm going to keep talking about it. So for the 376 responders, so when my family talked, I told you earlier, my family, we got together this week, we were talking about it. At that time, I did not know about the 77-page preliminary report. I didn't know that there were 376 responders on scene. But even in the report, it does not clearly indicate when the 6 agencies that were on scene, it does not say when they came on the scene. So we have that 77 minutes where the responders did not engage a shooter. We don't know when each agency got on the scene. Like between the time that the gunman entered the school and the 77, the minutes later where the law enforcement actually engaged him, we don't know who was there. We don't know if it was only maybe 10 responders or 100 responders. That the report did not clearly indicate. So because this is a preliminary report, hopefully with the full report, they'll give more information about when each agency arrived on the scene, and then who was in charge when that agency came on the scene. Like, was a command center set up so that when the agencies came on the scene, they know exactly who to go to? Like, there's so many questions surrounding that now that I have the information. There's so many questions surrounding that I have. I also am curious to know, within those 77 minutes, I need to do some research for myself. Are the 77 minutes, are they counting 77 minutes from the time that the gunman entered the school and then entered the classroom until the time that law enforcement agencies actually engaged him? Or was it 77 minutes from the time a law enforcement agent came on scene and then from the time that they engaged him? Like, I'm not clear when the 77 minutes started. I'm also not clear if the gunman immediately killed the 19 children and 2 teachers. Like, did he immediately kill them once he entered that classroom? Or, like my mom was talking about, or my uncle was talking about, or were there hostages? Did he hold these children and these 2 teachers hostages for 30 minutes or for 40 minutes? Were they held hostage? Did he have them all just in one of the rooms, sitting down on the floor or sitting at their desk with their head down, whatever? Like, did that happen? Was there time between the time that the gunman entered the school, law enforcement came on the scene, and between the time the gunman entered the school in the classroom law enforcement came on the scene and he started killing folk. Like, what was that time frame? Like, what did that look like? Were the children and the teachers already dead, you know, when law enforcement came on the scene? Because I don't know, I did not read in the reports. I didn't read all the reports, just a little bit. So I don't know when, like what the time was between gunmen on scene, law enforcement came. Was it 10 minutes later, 15 minutes later? Were the kids already dead, you know, when law enforcement came, or shortly after they came? I don't know. You know, I talked about it a couple of weeks ago where the gunman had enough time to pump enough bullets in those children that some of them were unrecognizable. You want to know how I know that? Because they had to use the DNA of the family members to identify the children. If you need DNA to identify somebody, that means that they are unrecognizable, that's the only way that they can be identified. So there was enough time at least for him to, I'm going to say, disfigure those children based on the fact that they had to ask family members for their DNA to identify them babies. That is a bad scene, y'all, bad scene. And thinking about Uvalde, the Parkland, I didn't look this up, but I did remember hearing on the news this week, the Parkland shooter from Florida, that incident, the shooting at Parkland, or in Parkland, happened 4 years ago. The individual who shot those children up, I cannot remember how many of them passed away. Let me see if I can look it up really quickly. But the individual who shot them up is finally on trial, y'all. After 4 years, this person is now going to trial. And I know that that's going to be a closely watched, I'm assuming it's going to be streamed live. I honestly don't know, but I'm pretty sure that there is going to be that's going to be a closely watched trial. So yeah, so that started, let me see if it started today. So 17 people were killed. Yep, 7 in Parkland, Florida, at Stoneman Douglas High, at, Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. It was 17 people that were killed, and the gunman was 19 at that time. So yeah, so trial began sometime this week. I don't have the exact day, but it began this week. All right, after 4 years, whew, I don't know what happened. The Constitution say you have a right to a speedy trial. Oof, that's a long time away, but so just wanted to share that with you. Yeah, and then the gunman from Uvalde, he's no longer with us. He was killed. All right, and so let me share this with y'all. So y'all have probably heard about this 10-year-old girl. Y'all, my mom says, I don't know. I think it was just used to indicate that his family wasn't there. I don't know if they were trying to say that was a reason. I know how I took it and how I read it, but I don't know what the intent of the report was. I don't know if it was to give information or use it as part of the problem that this young man was facing. I don't know. It could have been one or the other or both. I can't say. Fatherless home, children commit illegal acts or stay in trouble with the law. Two parents home, children commit crimes. Yeah, I don't fully understand what my mom was trying to say here, but children can commit crimes whether it's a single parent home or a 2-parent home. It just, depends on how that child is being raised, depending on what they're being exposed to at school and their community with their friends. Because y'all know how you can raise 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15 children in the same house. Some of them may choose, may make some great decisions, and then the rest of them, they just hanging out in the street. Y'all know how that can be. Y'all parents, so y'all know it better than I. You can raise the same children in the same household, and some of them go astray. It does happen. So y'all, this report, okay. A 27-year-old man raped Y'all, a 10-year-old girl. I want to walk that one out. Ooh, I'm gonna just sit here, but I need to walk that one out. Sometimes when I hear news, y'all, if I'm sitting watching the news, which I have not watched news consistently, but I did turn it on one day this week and actually watch a full hour of news. Well, almost a full hour of news. It kind of shocked me. Sometimes when I hear news, I have to walk around the house. I have to walk it out and get it. So y'all, I really want to get up and walk this one out, but I'm on the broadcast, so I'm not gonna walk it out right now, y'all. So I'm saying a 27-year-old man raped a 10-year-old girl. Have y'all seen the movie A Time to Kill with starring oh my gosh, now I gotta look it up because I'm seeing the face, Matthew McConaughey, Samuel L. Jackson, that's who I'm trying to think of. Samuel L. Jackson played the daddy, Matthew McConaughey played the lawyer, Sandra Bullock was like the assistant to the lawyer, she was up in there, and there were Donald Sutherland was in the movie, and a few other actors that I can't think of right now. The guy from the TV show 27, I don't know his name, I just know his face. I don't know if y'all have ever seen the movie A Time to Kill. If you have never seen this movie, it came out, I think maybe in the 90s or the early 2000s. It's the only reason I watch it because Samuel Jackson, like it's a good movie. So y'all, if there was ever so I'm gonna talk about the movie. I'm not gonna talk about real life. Y'all hear me when I'm not talking about real life, I'm talking about the movie. This is actually a book. Who's the author of A Time to Kill? I'm gonna have to look it up. So if you don't want to see the movie, read the book. I've never read the book, I just saw the movie. So I'm gonna see who wrote the book so that you can look it up if you want to. It was written by John Grisham, A Time to Kill by John Grisham. If ever there was a time to kill, what happened in that movie, I'm just talking about the movie, just don't go out and kill nobody, don't go out and say Stephanie said kill nobody, don't y'all go out and kill nobody, thou shalt not murder, thou shalt not kill, the Bible says 10 commandments, thou shalt not kill. But if there was ever a time to kill, the events that happened in that movie, in that book turned movie, so the little girl was raped in this movie. I'm gonna just give you that little tidbit. I can't remember I don't remember how old she was. She was in the 8, 9, 10 range. She was really young. Not only was she raped by one man, but these was two grown tail men, like they looked like they were in their like 40s, 30s, well, maybe 30s or early 40s. They were grown tail men. Saw her walking by the side of the road, y'all. If there was ever a time to kill, I'm just saying I don't have no kids. Y'all don't go out and kill nobody. Thou shalt not murder. I didn't tell you to go kill nobody. I'm just talking about the book, talking about the movie. So this 10-year-old in Columbus, Ohio, was raped by a 27-year-old man. I think he's still alive. I don't have no kids. I think he's still alive. So there was an obstetrician, gynecologist. Her name is Dr. Bernard. I'll say her name since it's public knowledge now. But Dr. Bernard performed a medication-induced abortion for this 10-year-old girl on June 30th. I'm gonna put my paper down for just a minute. I first heard about this particular story on social media, I think maybe last week. Is when I first heard about it. Y'all, I'm gonna just tell y'all, I don't know if the person who posted this on social media, I don't know if he was being ignorant. I don't know if he was being stupid, or I don't know if he was genuinely ignorant, because maybe this man, like me, don't have any kids. And then maybe he ain't never paid attention to his mama because he had to have a mama here. Or maybe he never had any sisters, maybe he never had a girlfriend, maybe he never had a wife. But this person, because I want to call him something else, this person actually posted on social media, we need to talk about how a 10-year-old could get pregnant. How can it's called a menstruation cycle. We have a cycle that you can get as early as I think 7. I think there have been cases of children as young as 5 getting their cycle. Don't quote me on it, go look it up, know for yourself. But if I'm not mistaken, I read of a case where a 5-year-old got their cycle. But children can get cycles early. When you have a menstruation cycle, you are known as a woman because you can produce children. So her cycle had already come on. She was able to produce children, and this doggone 27-year-old man got her pregnant when he pregnant. Ooh, child. Ooh, I'm just thinking about the movie, thinking about the book. So anyway, this doctor gives this young 10-year-old girl. Now y'all know a 10-year-old's body is not should not have to carry a baby. I'm gonna just say it like that. I'm not a doctor. I am of the opinion that a 10-year-old body is not prepared, it's not mature enough to carry a baby, nor should a 10-year-old have to carry a baby, especially after her virginity. She 10, was snatched away from her by this doggone 27-year-old man. I'm assuming he's still alive. I hope he's alive so that he can stand trial. Did it say? Let me see. Put my glasses on. I'm hoping he's still alive. I didn't see it. Hopefully he's standing trial in the jail or either under the jail, wherever he is. So anyway, I'm not going to talk about him anymore because it's just going to make me mad. So Dr. Bernard, for the 3rd time, I'm going to say she's an obstetrician gynecologist. She gave the girl a medication-induced abortion on June 30th. And the Attorney General of Ohio, let me see, I got his name over here. His name is Rakito. Let me see if I can find his first name. I don't know his first name. Oh, Todd Rakito. I know I had this over. He's an Indiana. Okay, so this is the Indiana Attorney General. So the little girl had to go. Ohio enacted a fetal heartbeat law. I don't know what it is. I didn't click on the link, but they enacted a fetal heartbeat law banning abortions at around the 6-week mark of pregnancy. And this all happened after the United States Supreme Court of the United States of America overturned Roe versus Wade. Ohio enacted this fetal heartbeat law banning abortions at around the 6-week mark. I don't know how many weeks the 10-year-old girl was at this time. I didn't even think to look that up, so I don't know how many weeks or how far along she was. Y'all look it up for yourself so you can know the information for yourself. But anyway, she had to cross lines to get to have this procedure done. And so the Indiana Attorney General, Todd Rakita, he was saying that he was going to do an investigation or do an investigation on Dr. Caitlin Bernard. And the thing about it, y'all, at the time, we did not know who the doctor was. Y'all, this case made me mad because what Fox News did y'all hear? I said FOX, Fox News. What they did is they released the name of this doctor and showed her face on their program. Y'all, we should have never known. I don't know how in the world this information was given because there are HIPAA laws. There are privacy laws to protect doctor, to protect patient, more so the patient, but there are laws. So I don't know how in the world information slipped out about this 10-year-old girl first of all, the 10-year-old girl having the abortion, having the medication-induced abortion, and the doctor that performed the procedure. Whoever released that information needs to be fired and some action needs to be taken against them because HIPAA is a law. So that's number 1. 2, the Attorney General of Indiana wanted to file let me say it right. He shared that he was gathering information against the doctor. He included looking at her license. He indicated that he would research about whether she failed to report that she gave this medication-induced abortion. I didn't even know that there was medication-induced abortion, y'all. I had no idea. I'm probably gonna do some research on that because I only thought abortion was you going up the vagina and doing what you do. So there's medication-inducing a medication to help with abortion. I think maybe I did know that, but I don't know enough about it. I don't know. Anyway, whether I knew it or not, I know it now. And so he was going to to do an investigation on Dr. Bernard. He was saying that it's a crime to not report, and in particular to not intentionally report. So he had planned to do an investigation on this doctor. What the doctor did, the attorney for the doctor, she filed a tort claim indicating defamation of character. So let me read in particular what it said. An attorney for Dr. Caitlin Bernard on Tuesday filed a tort claim. This was July 19th, Tuesday, a precursor to a lawsuit after Todd Rokita, told local and national media outlets, one was Fox News, that he was investigating, oh, not Fox News, this one wasn't on Fox News, I'm sorry. He did appear on Fox News, I did have that right, Fox News and then the Indianapolis Star, but that he was investigating the doctor after she performed the procedure on a patient who could not get an abortion in her home state of Ohio. All right, so this tort claim has been filed by Dr. Bernard's attorney, and I hope she go after him. And I hope if whatever she's suing for, I hope she get everything. She's suing for money. I hope she get every penny, every half penny that she is owed in this lawsuit. The Attorney General Todd Rokita also said that, in quotes, that Dr. Bernard was an abortion activist acting as a doctor with a history of failing to report, and failing to report meaning failing to report the abortions that she had performed, okay? Dr. Bernard's attorney said this, or this was in the claim, the tort claim. They make sure I'm saying that right, yeah, tort claim. Mr. Rokita's false and misleading statements about alleged misconduct by Dr. Bernard in her profession, constitutes defamation. The statements have been and continue to be published by or on behalf of Mr. Rokita and the Office of the Attorney General. This is a major problem that I have with this particular case. And this is a major problem that I have with many individuals, mainly Republicans, but many individuals that want to talk about a girl or a woman should not have an abortion. I want to know, where is the outrage for this 27-year-old man sticking his doggone penis in this 10-year girl's vagina and raping her, taking her virginity and taking her innocence? Where is the outrage on that? Where is the investigation on that? He didn't say nothing about this 27-year-old man raping this girl. He talked about the doggone abortion that she was given to keep her from having to bear a child that she never intended to bear because she was raped. That's why I cannot stand to hear individuals talking about, I'm against abortion, I'm against abortion. Why aren't you against the rapists and the child molesters and the sex slave traffickers who take the innocence of these young girls or who rape women, molest children? Where is your outrage about those lives? You want to talk about pro-life? You want to talk about being for life? Where is your passion for those lives? For those lives that are destroyed because they are taken advantage of, because they are sexually assaulted, because they are raped, because they are molested? Like, where is your outrage on those lives? That's what makes me mad when I hear folks talking about doggone pro-life. Because in my estimation, based on the history of your passion for pro-life, you are selective in your passion for pro-life. You are selective. You want to hold on to a fetus that is within a woman's womb. What about the children that are already here? What about the Black boys that are killed, the Black girls that are killed? What about these children, again, that are raped or molested or in sex slave trafficking? What about their lives? Do their lives matter to you, or just the unborn fetus that I can't say is a full baby yet, depending on the gestation, depending on the week. I'm not a doctor, I'm not an obstetrician, I'm not a gynecologist. I have not done the study or history of I know there's such a thing as a trimester. I know there's gestation. Do I know all the ins and outs? Heck no, because I never had no kids. Praise Jesus, let me tell you. But the baby is not fully formed until after certain weeks. Okay, that's all I'm trying to say. And so it makes me mad. Like, there is no outrage. I have not heard not one person who is talking about this doctor. I have not heard not one of them who's bashing this doctor for performing this medication-induced abortion for this 10-year-old child that was raped. I have not heard not a single peep of them saying, let's stone the 27-year-old man. We're not gonna stone him. That's not what we do. But I'm just saying, they haven't said a word about the rape. They ain't said a word about the innocence of this baby taken. They haven't said about the mental anguish that this baby probably is going through, the emotional anguish, the fear. I digress a little bit. I'm just saying, if you're gonna have, so y'all, and so I'm gonna share a little bit more with y'all. Y'all may not feel as passionately about this as I do, and I'm okay with that. That's good. So this is something else that came up as I was looking at this. There is a U.S. senator in Oklahoma, y'all, and I want to know what y'all parents think about this. But now y'all got to tell me what y'all think about this. Okay, so James Langford is an Oklahoma U.S. senator. He is a Republican. When he was younger, a little bit younger, I don't know how old he was at the time, but he used to be the youth programming director at the Falls Creek Baptist Camp at the time, where a 15-year-old had sex with a 15-year-old boy had sex with a 13-year-old girl. He was accused, let me say it like he was accused of having sex with her at this particular camp that now U.S. Senator James Langford was programming director at that time, okay? He goes on to say in a deposition, you all listen to this. He goes on to testify, y'all, in a 2010 deposition. I know it's been 12 years ago, but listen to what he said. He said that he believed that a 13-year-old could consent to sex. Y'all know I ain't never had no kids. What are y'all gonna, what y'all parents think about this? Y'all mamas, y'all daddies, I'm an auntie. Y'all mamas and daddies, do you all think that a 13-year-old child can consent to having sex? I don't think so, but this is what he said at that time. Now, but listen to this. This is what he said about this particular case of the 15-year-old boy having sex with a 13-year-old girl, accused. We're gonna say he was accused of having sex. This is what he went on to say when he was asked. Wait, let me backtrack. He said, yes, I think they can. In other words, yes, I think they can consent to sex. Okay. And just so you all know, the age of consent in Oklahoma is 16, which is about that age, approximately of the state, 16, 17, but 16 is considered the age of consent. So in Oklahoma, the age of consent is 16, but he's saying that a 13-year-old can consent to sex. Okay. But listen to this. When he was asked about his own daughters, he was asked about his own daughter, whether he would allow them to consent to sex at the age of 13 to 46. He said, no, I would not encourage that at all. Could she make that choice? I hope she would not. But I would not encourage that in any way with my own daughter. See, folks have a different perspective when it comes to their own children, their own spouse, their own household. They're not concerned about your child or what's going on in their community or their constituency. They got like the one rule for their family, one rule for your family. So he said that a 13-year-old could give consent, but he would not encourage it at all for his own 13-year-old daughter. Now, I don't know how old his kids are at this time, because this happened in 2010, so it was 12 years ago. And he would not encourage his daughters to do that in any way. Y'all, let me tell y'all something. a 13, so I'm trying to remember what I was doing at 13. Let me see what grade I was in. That was, let me see, I was 30. It's too far back. Well, it's too far back for me to think about it. We ain't got time. We trying to get to the hearings at 7:48. We're trying to get to the hearings at 8. Not gonna make it. We have to hear the hearings after I finish. But I don't think a 13-year-old has the full understanding of what sex is. Let me backtrack that. I do not believe a 13-year-old has a full understanding of how their body works. I don't think they have a full understanding of how sex works and what sex is for. They may have received some information, but the full scope of it, they don't have that yet. I do not think that a 13-year-old has the mental or emotional capacity to make such a decision. I'm not saying y'all 13-year-olds, y'all don't get mad at me if you're 13 and listen. You is smart, you is educated, you make some good decisions, but sex, sex is a whole nother thing. And I do not think you should be allowed to give consent to have sex at 13 years old. What is going on in the world today? Jesus, help us. That's what I believe. My throat is dry. I haven't even taken a sip yet, y'all. Y'all, it's 7:49. We're at over an hour in. I didn't even ask y'all what y'all drinking. What y'all know? I got my prayer warrior cup. I'm drinking me some water tonight. What y'all sipping on? Let me take a sip. What y'all sipping on tonight? Ooh, my water. It was cold. When I poured it in this cup, it was cold. I should have put some ice to it. What are y'all sipping on tonight? Y'all go ahead and add it to the chat, add it to the comment section later. I'll be checking back in. But I don't think the 13-year-old has the full capacity. While they may be unable to understand that sex is for procreation and that sex is was designed to be within the marriage covenant, I still don't think they have the full capacity to understand what sex is and the ramifications of sex. That's just my belief. I'm going to read a few of the comments. Oh, I see what my mom was saying. Going back to the society dictates that one parent homes their children commits crimes. What about crimes committed by children in two-parent homes? Exactly. There again, there are crimes committed by single-parent families and by individuals who grew up in a single-parent home, just like there are crimes that are committed by individuals who grew up in a two-parent home. Your family life does have a big part of how you navigate life as an adult. Now, I believe that with all of my heart. Your upbringing, if you were taught manners, if you were taught respect, if you were taught what I want to say, I can't think of the word, but if you were taught discipline, if you were taught those things as a young person growing up, hopefully those things will carry on into your life. But I do believe that our upbringing influences how we navigate life as an adult, whether we navigate life in a healthy way or whether we navigate life in an unhealthy way. I do believe our upbringing has some influences there. For example, I say yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am. Yes, sir, no, sir. That's how I grew up. That's how I was trained. It's a part of who I am. I cannot stop it, even if I tried. There have been individuals, oh, don't say yes, ma'am, to me. Don't, it makes me feel old. And it's normally women who tell me that. Normally, when I say sir or yes, sir to or no, sir to a male, I don't get that feedback. But from women, no, don't say that to me. It made me feel old. And I have to explain, I'm not trying to make you feel old. I'm just, showing respect because that's how I was raised. And so that's one thing that has carried over in my adulthood. Being respectful, has carried on. Some things have carried on in my adulthood, some great things. And so again, our upbringing has influences there. But let me say this, y'all, while our upbringing does influence how we navigate life as an adult, it doesn't have to. It does not have to. You may have grew up in an abusive household. Just because you grew up in an abusive household does not mean you have to be an abuser, or you don't have to be the abused. So if you grew up watching your dad beat your mom, it doesn't mean, if you're a male, and you grew up in a household watching your dad beat your mom, it does not mean that you have to beat your wife or beat your girl. If you are a young lady and you grew up in your house where you saw your dad beat your mom, you do not have to be beat by another man. Like, you do not have to follow that lifestyle. So while our upbringing influences us as we navigate life, it does not have to. Let me tell you, it does not have to. As an adult, you have the responsibility and the privilege to make the decisions that you feel are best for you. Lord, I'm not even gonna get into the Lord said don't go there, so I'm not gonna go there. I had some great influences growing up, and I had some not so great influences growing up. When I became an adult, I had to make a decision. Stephanie, how are you gonna live your life? You as an adult have a decision to make. How are you gonna live your life? Are you gonna use how I grew up as an excuse for why you can't do better? Something to think about, and I'm gonna let that be. All right. And my mom noted, okay, I'm not sure about that part. My aunt noted she's drinking on some tea. Hey, auntie, are you drinking hot tea or cold tea? What kind of tea you drinking? Some hibiscus. You know what? I think I want to try hibiscus tea. I think I saw some peach hibiscus tree somewhere, and I want to try it, but I haven't yet. And I haven't tried. Y'all know I introduced the tea that I got at the farmer's market. I have not tried it yet, y'all. I don't want to drink nothing hot. It's just too hot to be drinking hot stuff. So I haven't tried my tea yet, but once I do, I'll share with you how it tastes. And then my aunt noted that 13 is way too young. I totally agree. My mom also noted, I agree, these young girls watch social media and it's all about looking good and being and dressing sexy. The social media sells sex, and that's not all. Some young and old people watch. Yeah, they do watch. But y'all, but let's backtrack that, mama. Sex has been selling for longer than social media has been in existence. Let's just be clear about that. Let's be clear about that. I watch old shows, y'all. Y'all know, I'm in the, I tell them on my job, I'm in the Stone Ages. Like, I'm still watching old shows, y'all. Like, I'm talking, I ain't gonna tell y'all what I'm watching, ain't none of y'all business, but I still watch old shows. And in watching old shows, I see the women in these skimpy bikinis, these two-piece with their hind parts hanging out, and their breasts is hanging out. So selling sex did not start with social media. It has been happening. Now, social media may have accelerated how often, or accelerated the access that we have to sex. But sex selling has always been there. Y'all remember, I didn't watch a lot of black and white shows growing up, but I do remember watching a clip because Antenna TV shows some of the older like black and white shows. I don't even know the name of them. But there used to be a time on TV where the husband and wife's bed, they didn't sleep in the same bed. They slept in separate beds. They had two beds in the bedroom. That man and that woman slept in two separate beds. I don't know how they had kids. Sleeping in two different beds. I don't know how they had kids. Maybe they had a floor ministry or a washing machine ministry like Aunt Bam. I don't know. But it was two separate beds because it was thought that, you know, they didn't want anything sexual on TV. But again, sex selling has been around far longer than social media, but it has accelerated access to sex. And I agree that a lot of I don't know the influences that the young girls have now. Like when I was growing up, we had like Salt-N-Pepa was a hairstyle influence where you wore it short on one side and long on the other. I remember my cousin had that hairstyle, looked really nice on her. I tried to do it, but you know, it didn't work out quite right for me. I had to like tuck this side, but I didn't want to cut it. So I had to tuck this side in and leave this side long. It was a trip, girl and guy. It was a trip. But so we have entertainers that influence us with the way that we dress. We used to wear the big bag. I used to wear big baggy clothes because that's what I saw, in media, not social media, but in media with the rappers and other entertainers, mainly the female rappers that were coming on the scene. Salt and Pepper, Queen Latifah was coming on the scene around that time. MC Light, who was a part of Salt and Pepper. Oh, I'm thinking about a California who was on Brandy's video. I can't think of her name. But anyway, some of the other female rappers I can't think of right now. I see their faces. But anyway, so we have those influences. And so the same is with young people today. We have singers, rappers, entertainers that are influencing our young people. And y'all, I'm gonna just be honest with y'all. Y'all know how the singers, like the female singers, are wearing like the bikini type attire. I did not know that that was a thing until a couple of years ago. Like, I think they've been doing that for a long time, but I didn't know. I don't watch award shows. I don't watch music videos or anything like that. So I don't know what I was watching or what I had turned to. And I don't know who the first person I saw, I don't know which singer it was, but I looked, I was like, when did this singer start wearing bikinis on stage? Like, when did that, like, what did I miss? Like, was I gone for a decade or something? I had no idea. It's just like, I mean, they're decorative bikini. I call them bikinis because it's like a one piece bathing suit. It just has decorations on it. Like, when did that happen? Like, when did that become a fashion trend? So yeah, the fashion trend, y'all, and I cannot stand be seeing these women and these young girls with these booty shorts with their hind parts hanging out. I don't want to see your tail hanging out. And I don't be trying to see, but sometimes if you walking by, if you're standing in front of me in line, I'm like, can you go put some clothes on? Just because it's on the shelves, it's not on the shelf, on the racks. Just because the clothes are on the clothes rack don't mean you have to buy them. And for y'all parents, just because your kids want them don't mean you have to buy them. Cover your hind parts up. That's all I'm saying. See, my mama done started something. She got me on the tangent. Just cover thyself. You don't have to wear short. Like, I'm of an age where my shorts are gonna hit my knees because I'm of an age. I can't be wearing the short. Well, I don't remember ever wearing short shorts. I remember wearing some short skirts, but I don't remember wearing short shorts like they wear now. But I'm of an age. I'm covered. I'm gonna cover thyself. Cover myself. Cover yourself. So yeah, child, their tails out, their breasts out, everything is tight and clingy. We got the yoga pants that were meant for you to do yoga. Now y'all, we are women, we wearing them out with all our hind parts out, with nothing left to them at the stomach out, nothing is left to the imagination. Men have seen everything they need to see. If they ain't seen it, they gonna see it by these clothes that we wearing now. If they hadn't seen it, they gonna see it. I digress. Yeah, I mean, and just because you're wearing certain clothing does not mean you deserve to be raped or deserve to be sexually assaulted or deserve to be touched in any way. I don't believe that at all. I do not believe that at all. You have a choice. I'm gonna just leave it there. You have a choice. I'm gonna leave it there. You have a choice. All right, and I'm gonna leave that there. And also I don't know what year it was, maybe within the last 5 or 6 years, there were 2 singers in particular that came out with songs about our butts, about like a woman's butt. I'm not into secular music. Like, I love me some R&B. I love Michael Jackson. I love Motown. But I'm not quite sure why a female would make a song about our butts when they know that women are objectified already. But it happened. And then the song about, other body parts, y'all, I can't imagine like what is on the mind of our entertainers when they talk about sex. I remember about 10 years ago, there was a rapper who, I'm not gonna say his name, you can look it up, but there was a rapper that was talking about having sex with a woman, and he was saying how he would mess up a woman like Emmett Till was messed up. And when I read that article, I couldn't believe it. I was like, does he? I couldn't understand. First of all, who wrote those lyrics? Why would you rap those lyrics? And then why would your producers allow those lyrics to be released? So did they not understand what happened to Emmett Till? Did they not understand that he was not abused, but he was beaten, he was tortured, he was murdered for allegedly whistling at a white woman? Did they not understand the significance and the delicacy of that moment? And you're comparing it to you wearing a woman's vagina out just to say, well, Stephanie, I'm gonna say it how I feel it. Like you literally, like, that song was literally released to the masses. Like, nobody, from the time that that song was written to the stages that it went through, nobody said, wait a minute, Mr. Rapper, we need to take this line out because this is disrespectful to the memory of Emmett Till. This is disrespectful to Black people. This is disrespectful to all the men and the women, boys and girls who have been lynched in these here United States of America. This is not right. You need to change these lyrics. And until you change these lyrics, we're not releasing this song. Like, nobody said that. Nobody had a conscience when this was released. Now, I don't know what happened with that. Like, I know there was a lot of controversy about it. It was like over 10 years ago, so I can't even remember like what the outcome was. But I just, and I had a point for saying that. I don't remember what my point was because I done talked. but oh, I was just talking about sex, you know, like the song. A lot of what is considered rap, I don't know if I can consider it rap or hip hop because it's about sex, about how a woman looks, how her body looks, how you gonna do this and do that. It's a mess. I'm gonna just say it's a mess. It's how I feel about it. It's a mess. So yeah, I agree. Women, we could dress better. We ought not to, but I believe we can dress a little more. I'm not saying you got to wear a shirt up to here and a dress down to the knee, because I love my little summer skirts and my little summer dresses, and I be cute walking around with my little dress above my knees. It's all good, but you know, you can have some modesty. I'm gonna say modesty about yourself. You know, that can happen, and you can still look good. Like, you can wear your dresses, your little shirt, cute little shirts and dresses and tops and pants and stuff, and still be classy. You can be sexy and classy at the same time. And I'm gonna leave that there. I'm gonna leave that down, leave that down, leave that down. So yeah, so that's all I'm gonna say about that. I did have one more thing to share with us. I'm gonna see where my other notes are because I can't seem to locate my other notes. I guess I didn't bring them out. Hold on. Let me gather myself. So I did have something else to share with you all, but I'll share it quick. I just want to share this with you all. Let me get the first part of it. Okay. So I wanted to share with you all that Florida Senator Rick Scott, I don't know if you've ever heard of Rick Scott before, but he is a senator in Florida, and he's also the chairman of the National Republican Senatorial Committee. So I know you said, well, I don't live in Florida, you know, this has nothing to do with me, but it does have something to do with every citizen in the United States of America, and I just want to make you aware of this. He has put together an 11-point plan proposal If Congress is taken over by Republicans in the fall, in November, whatever your voting date is in the fall, he has put together this 11-point plan proposal that he wants to enact if the Republicans take over the Senate. Y'all, I have it here, and I was it matters because he's a U.S. senator, and if he's able to put this into law and get this passed, it could affect all of America, you all. And so the 11-point plan, and I'm gonna just read the 11 highlights. He does go into, it's highlighted here, and then he goes into detail. And I was reading the details on some of them, y'all. I will put the link. Let me make a note to put the link for this 11-point plan. Put the link in the description so that you can read it for yourself, and you can just judge for yourself if this is something that you would want to become law in the United States, or become I don't know if this will become law, or what his proposal would be, if it would become law or whatever, like if it would be something that would be implemented in Congress. I'm trying to think of what else it could be besides a law, but I can't think of, or it's not coming to my mind right now. But I'm gonna give you these 11 points, you all, so that you can have them, okay? Because I don't want this to become law, and I don't even want this to become a plan of action. I'll just say it like that. I do not want this to become a plan of action. So number one, our kids will say the Pledge of Allegiance, salute the flag, learn that America is a great country, and choose a school that best fits them. That's my number one problem. Let's go on to number two. Government will never again ask American citizens to disclose their race, ethnicity, or skin color on any government form. He goes on to quote Dr. King, y'all. Let me hit my wall. He goes on to quote Dr. King, talking about people will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. It gets on my nerves when people quote Dr. King to push their own agenda. And I'm gonna leave that there. Number three, the soft on crime days of coddling criminal behavior will end. Do y'all hear what he's saying in between those words? We will refund and respect the police because they, not the criminals, are the good guys. I'm gonna read this little bit at the little synopsis here, and like I said, it goes into greater detail as you read this. I think it's a 51-page document or whatever, but it goes into greater detail. This is just highlighting the 11 points and then the details come later. But it says, we, in the little synopsis, we will enforce our laws, all of them, and increase penalties for theft and violent crime. We will clean up our cities and stop pretending that crime is okay. We have zero tolerance for mostly peaceful protests. Oh my Lord. The mostly peaceful protests, I'm going like this because that's actually in quotes, y'all. In quotes, mostly peaceful protests that attacked police officers, loot businesses, and burn down our cities. I'm telling y'all, we have got to pay attention to what's going on in states around the United States, because some of these plans and proposals and law proposals and different things that come before the House floor, because that comes before the Senate floor or the House floor, it's going to affect us all. So we've got to pay attention. We've got to pay attention to what's going on. So that's why I wanted you to be aware of this. Be aware of this. So that was number three. Woo, 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 woo. Number four, we will secure our border. What does that sound like, y'all? Who does that sound like? Finish building the wall. Y'all listen to the name. Listen to the name. And name it after, wait for it, President Donald Trump. It didn't say former president, y'all. This bad boy proposal says President Donald Trump, that they will name the doggone wall after President Trump. We better pay attention to what's going on in states around the United States. Pay attention to what's going on in Ohio, in Georgia, in Oklahoma, in California. Pay attention, y'all, because if I had not been doing research, I would not have found this. I wouldn't even have known that this existed and that he wants to try to implement these guidelines, make it into law, put it into proposal, whatever. He's getting ready because he thinks the Republicans are going to take over in November. Y'all, we got to pay attention. We got to pay attention. Okay, number 5. I'm going to stop saying pay attention. I'm going to read these 11 points so you can have them in your hearing. Number 5, we will grow America's economy, starve Washington's economy, and stop and stop socialism. Y'all, these Republicans be going all out. I'm telling y'all. I'm gonna keep. So socialism, I'm just reading what it says here. Socialism is an un-American and always leads to poverty and oppression. He wants to. Okay, let me keep reading. Okay, number 6. We will eliminate all federal programs that can be done locally and enact term limits for federal bureaucrats and Congress. Can y'all understand what this is saying? We will eliminate all federal programs that can be done locally. What federal programs do y'all think he's talking about? See, this I got to go in the notes on this one. I know what I think it is. I'm thinking about Medicare. I'm thinking about Medicaid. I'm thinking about what else? Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security. That's the other one. I'm thinking those are federal programs. I'm not saying that's what he's talking about. I'm just saying that those are federal programs, and I'm gonna leave that there. Number 7, we will protect the integrity of American democracy and stop left-wing efforts to rig elections. 8, we will protect, defend, and promote the American family at all costs. First of all, I need to know your definition of American family. What's your definition of the American family? I want to know. Oh, it say, I ain't gonna tell y'all, y'all gonna read it for y'all. Y'all got some homework, read it for yourself. Number 9, men are men. Women are women. I'm just reading what it says. I'm reading what it says. Unborn babies are babies. We believe in science. Y'all, I'm just reading the plan. Y'all don't get mad at me. This is Rick's. Y'all forgive me for laughing, y'all. This is a serious matter, but it's so, it's a serious, it really is a serious matter, but the lengths that folks will go to in order to push their agenda, in order to make America what they want it to be. Number 10, I'm almost done. I'm gonna let y'all go so y'all can listen to the January 6th hearing. Number 10, Americans will be free to welcome God in all aspects of our lives. Well, I do that anyway. Child, y'all ain't gonna stop me from saying thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. God is my savior. God is the one true living God. I ain't been stopped yet, and I'm not gonna stop. So, this one's neither here nor there. For me, it's neither here nor there. But but you know what? Let people serve who they want to serve. You don't have to serve Jehovah. I serve Jehovah God. I believe God, the Father, God, the Son, God, the Holy Spirit. Those 3 individuals existing as one person. That's what I believe. I believe Jesus is the savior of the world, that he died for our sins, rose again on the third day to secure our victory. I believe that the only way to God is through Jesus Christ. You can't get to Jesus. You can't get to God through any other means by Jesus. They talking about all roads lead to God. That's a lie from the pit of hell. The only way to get to God is through Jesus, is what I believe. So this to me would limit people of like Muslim faith or Buddhist faith. Now, I don't agree with those faiths. What I do agree in, I agree that everybody should have the choice to serve whoever they want to serve. If you want to serve the devil, serve the devil. If you want to be an atheist, I don't believe in God, be your atheist child. If you want to serve Buddha, be a Buddhist. If you want to serve Muhammad, and Allah, then you serve Allah. Serve who you want to serve. We in this country have the right to serve who we want to serve. To me, number 10 limits God or limits serving God, because it says specifically in here. You can read it. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it talked about specific religions in this number 10, and which to me limits other religions. And if you Confucius, I think there's a Confucius philosophy out there. I don't want anybody to feel because look at the Jews, you all. The Jews, they were murdered. Genocide happened with the Jews because they were Jews. They were the God's people, God's chosen people, the Jews. And they were not eliminated, because there are still Jews alive, even those survivors of the Holocaust. But many of them their race was semi-wiped out, okay? Because they were Jews. They believed in God, the coming of the Savior. Even though Jesus already came, they didn't believe he came, many of them. That's a whole nother, I sip and say with Stephanie or whatever. But they were eliminated because they were Jews, because they believed in God. They were God's chosen people. And I believe that everybody has a right to serve whatever God they want to serve. We should not be limited to just Christianity or just Judaism, which involves which is similar, involves the Jewish people. But I think that we should continue to have freedom of religion. That's what I believe. And then verse 11, not verse 11, look, those who have your Bibles, point 11, we are Americans, not globalists. Now, I don't know what they mean by that. It says America will be dependent on no, and no is in bold and caps, no other country. We will conduct no trade that takes away jobs or displaces American workers. And then the little caption over here is a picture of, it looks like a male, older male and a younger male. They're holding hands, they're bound, it looks like they're praying. It says, we will protect, defend, and promote the American family at all costs. And that's one of the points. Let me see which point that is. That's point number 8. So yeah, y'all, this is interesting. Yeah, I got to read this one. I got to read this one to y'all. I got to read point 1. This little synopsis before it goes into detail about number 1. This is the only one I'm gonna read, I promise. This is what it says, because this one struck me because I'm an educator. We will inspire patriotism and stop teaching the revisionist history of the radical left. I'm going to stop right there and interject this. I have a history. You have a history. All God's children have a history. My history includes my upbringing. It includes my young adulthood when I went to college. It includes all the great decisions that I've made. It includes all the bad decisions that I've made. It includes the healthy relationships that I've had. It includes the unhealthy relationships that I've had. It includes my homelessness. It includes me living without water and without electricity, and sometimes at the same time. It includes the great jobs that I have had. It includes the friendships that I have had. My history has shaped me and made me into who you see today. There is no way that I can rewrite my history because my history has already been lived. I can look back from my first memory. I can't even know when it was. I remember being in Head Start at the white center block building. I remember those teachers loving on me and taking care of me. I remember my mom going for training and we riding the bus and stuff. Those are some of my earlier memories. I guess I was like maybe 3 or 4. So my history cannot be rewritten. It cannot be revised because it's already been lived. American history cannot be rewritten. It cannot be revised, regardless of what Rick Scott or other Republicans or even Democrats or even unaffiliated or whoever, regardless of what they want to believe, the history of America is this country enslaved Black people to build this country. This country was built on murder. It was built on lies. It was built on the backs of Black people. That is the history of America. Murder, lies, abuse, enslavement. That is the history of America. That history cannot be rewritten regardless of how much you wish it was not true. I wish some of the decisions I made back in the day were not true, but they are true. They are a part of my history. And American history cannot be rewritten. Slavery happened. People were enslaved. White people enslaved Black people. Yes, you did. You killed us. You castrated us. You raped us. You murdered us. You treated us like we were cattle, like we were objects, like we were animals. That is the history of this country. Fear and intimidation. That is what this country was built on, and there is no way that can be rewritten. You might try to retell it based on what you want it to be, but that history cannot be rewritten. It cannot be undone. It is what it is. It was what it was, and it is what it is. And that history, that foundation of bloodshed, still affects the decisions, the laws, the policies, the way this country is ran today. So it says, we will inspire patriotism. I don't know what his definition of patriotism is, and stop teaching the revisionist history of the radical left. Our kids will learn about the wisdom of the US Constitution that said that a Black person was 3/5 of a human being, but okay. They're gonna learn about the Bill of Rights and the Founding Fathers, who all, many, if not all of them, I can't remember, many of them were slave owners. They enslaved people. Again, you cannot rewrite history. What was done and is a part of your history. It also says public schools, y'all, will focus on the 3 R's, not indoctrinate children with critical race theory or any other political ideology. Y'all, I am not the smartest crayon in the crayon box, but I'm smart enough to understand what critical race theory is and the fact that it is not taught in any public school in anywhere in the United States that I am aware of. Critical race theory is taught at the college level to individuals who are in law school. So in my mind, that's a graduate level, not just bachelor college, but the graduate level to law students. Y'all, I'm gonna just stop right there. I'm gonna stop right there. Point 2, I said I wasn't gonna read it. We are going to eliminate racial politics in America. No government will be based on race. That's a lie. That's a lie. Oh, y'all got to read this. Y'all got to read this. I'm gonna put the link. I promise you, I'm gonna put the link in the chat. Y'all need to read these, and it has. Let me put my glasses on because some of the print is bold and big, and some of it's tiny. We will stop dividing people by the race, skin color, ethnicity. Y'all know where they're going. They trying to rewrite history, trying to make it seem like race was never a factor in this country. They're gonna enforce the laws, y'all. We will fight for the maximum voter. Y'all read this, because if the Republicans do gain control of the House and the Senate, Rick Scott has already made it known he's going to present this. And again, so this is what Rick Scott says on the back page, and I promise you that's all I'm gonna say about this. This is a quote. "We are in danger of losing our country. Number one, who is we? Number two, who is our? And number three, what part of the country are you losing? Is it that the white people losing because y'all are gonna be outnumbered in a couple of years coming up? Who do we? What are we in danger of? What are we losing in this country? I want to know. That's why I wrote this plan. If you agree with me, then sign your name next to mine and support it. And there is a QR code, and there is a text to America, and there is a website here that you can go in and do what he would like, what he wants you to do. Share with others, send me your ideas. Together we can rescue America. Y'all, look, if Jesus don't come back soon, I don't know what we're gonna do. If Jesus' return is not imminent, I don't know what we're gonna do, y'all. I don't know what we're gonna do. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. So y'all, I've already mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast that January 6th, the hearings have already started. They actually started at 8 o'clock. So I did hold you a little longer. So January 6 hearings did resume tonight. Check your local listings so you can watch it. I also wanted to announce that the war on Ukraine is still happening, y'all. There's not been as much report about the war in Ukraine, but it is still happening. So please continue to pray for the Ukrainians. Continue to send aid to agencies that are supporting them if you can, like only, if you're able to do that. I also wanted to let y'all know that there are a lot of wildfires happening. My mom actually mentioned this week when we were having lunch together. These are the states that have currently reported wildfires, y'all. Alaska has reported 59. And I found all of this on the national, the NIS. I'll put the link in. It's a fire website. It's a .gov website that reports on national fires. And so it was reported on the website. Alaska has 59, Texas 9, Oklahoma 4, California 3, New Mexico 2, Arizona 3, Nevada and Utah, Wyoming, Idaho, all 2, Nebraska, Washington, Montana, and South Dakota 1. So there are currently 92 wildfires burning, you all, and none of them are currently contained. So let's pray, you all, for our firefighters and for other of our rescue workers that are helping to try to contain these fires. We were talking about yesterday how, or not yesterday, but this week, how sometimes conditions are so dry that fires can be sparked, just through the dry weather. And sometimes the exhaust from a car could ignite those dry leaves, and that can happen. Sometimes we do have individuals that are smoking and they throw out their cigarette and that causes a fire. Sometimes on campsites, individuals have campfires and maybe they don't put them out properly, and that could be a cause of a wildfire. Y'all, let's just be safe. Let's just pay attention to our surroundings and making sure that we are not a responsible party in wildfires happening. We know that they do happen around this time of year. Conditions are so hot and so dry. But let's do, the best that we can to preserve our world and our community. And yeah, y'all, there was one thing that I wanted to share. I don't have a lot of information on this one, but I want you all to go and do some research for this on your own. Y'all, I don't have TikTok, I don't have a lot of social media accounts, but there was this thing, there was reportedly, allegedly, some TikTok video or TikTok challenges, reportedly, allegedly, y'all, a TikTok challenge called Blackout, where whoever participated in this challenge, they would choke themselves until they passed out. There was a 9-year-old girl who was said to have participated in this challenge, and she passed away. And her family is suing TikTok for her death. Um, Again, this is an alleged challenge that happened on TikTok. I'm just reading the reports. I don't know much about it, but I just wanted to mention it to encourage parents and to encourage educators and family members to, ask your children questions. Like if they have a TikTok account, if they have a YouTube account, if they have other social media accounts, talk to them about what they're seeing on social media. Ask them, is there a challenge happening? Like what videos are you watching? Like what's the latest trend happening with preteens and teenagers? Find out what your children are watching on social media so that you are aware of any influences there that may cause harm to your children. Okay. That's why I mentioned this report. I am not accusing TikTok of anything because I really don't know. Because, like I said, it's an alleged video or an alleged challenge or a challenge that was allegedly on TikTok. So just watch what your children are doing. Monitor their cell phone activity and their social media activity. If you can connect to their accounts, I would encourage you to do so. I know we want to respect the privacy of our children, but I take the thought of Medea. You ain't got no privacy in this here house. You want privacy? Get your own house, get your own mortgage, get your own rent, get your own lease, and you can have all the privacy you want to have. Here, that's how I feel about it. So y'all, so that's just to say that's all I have to share with you tonight. I know that was a lot of information. Yes, so I agree with my mom. She talked about as long as it is happening close to home, as long as it is not happening close to home, there's no compassion. I agree. As long, if it's happening in somebody else's house, I ain't concerned about it. Now, when it hits home, then I might have a different thought about it. I agree with that. Yes, he's talking about white families. I know. I know. And it does sound like Donald Trump. It does. Y'all, y'all, I know I have mentioned this on Sip and Say before. There is a Republican playbook. There is a video. My nose keep itching. The old folks would say somebody talk about me, but my nose keep itching. There is a playbook. I forget who hosted it. I forget who hosted this, but I saw it on Amazon Prime. And it's about the Republicans playbook, y'all. And I think there was maybe 8 to 10 guidelines that Republicans follow as it relates to their talking points. Y'all, if I find the name of it, let me write it down. If I find the name of the Republican playbook, I'm gonna put it in the description so that you can look it up for yourself. It was a time this happened. This was maybe last year or a year or I want to say it was maybe last year. It was 2021 that I saw it. I did have Amazon Prime at the time, and so I watched it, y'all. It was so interesting. It was so good and so informative. Republicans use the same information and the same line for everything over and over again. If you listen to a Republican in one state or a Republican in a whole other state or a state across the United States, they say the same. Their talking points are exactly the same. It is a part of their playbook. If you go back and listen to the hearings for Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, y'all, she got confirmed. She got confirmed, y'all. It was right after my Sip and Say, or it happened the same day that I had my last Sip and Say. And I didn't have the information at that time to share. I started to come back online and tell y'all, but Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson has been confirmed. She is an associate justice of the United States Supreme Court. Woo! We celebrate you, Judge, but we celebrate you, former Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, and celebrate the associate justice of the United States Supreme Court, Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, ladies and gentlemen. we celebrate you, Justice Brown Jackson. And so wait a minute, I got excited and I forgot what I wanted to say. Okay, I have no idea what I was talking about. I got excited about Judge Jackson, about Associate Justice Jackson, because she was sworn in. I don't remember what day it was in June, but she was sworn in last month, and so excited for her and excited about the work that she will do on the Supreme Court. I know I was talking about the Republican playbook. I was talking about the Republican playbook. When I see they Republicans have the same lines. Like if you listen to them, you listen to several Republicans in different states, y'all, they say the same thing. It is their playbook. It's what they follow over and over and over and over and over and over again. It don't bear, it don't change. Like my mom was saying, this sounded like Donald Trump. It's because it's part of their playbook. They say the same things over and over again. All right, y'all, I'm gonna stop there. Thank you so much for joining Sip and Stay with Stephanie. We will be back next Thursday at 6:30 p.m. for some more news. Look, I want to invite you to the Pocketbook Exchange Fellowship that my ministry, Be Free Ministries, is hosting. It is in October. You can go to my website at befreeministriesnc.org to get more information about the Pocketbook Exchange. You are more than welcome to join us. It's October 5th through the 8th, the 5th through the 7th nightly right here on the Stephanie Humphrey channel. And the 8th will be in person. Information is on my website. I look forward to seeing you there. Okay, I'm gonna take one more sip. My aunt says, who is he rescuing America from? I was thinking that too, Aunt Wanda. I was like, if we're like, why do we who are we rescuing? Are we in bondage that we need to be rescued? Are we locked up? Or like, are we in chains that we need to be rescued? If you find out on one, you let us know, right? Because I don't know who we need to be rescued from. I guess all the people that don't look like him. My mom also noted parents cannot blame social media for everything that their children participate in. A 9-year-old really doesn't need a phone. Well, that's true. And it could be, I don't know if she was watching on her phone or on her tablet or on her laptop. I'm not quite sure what she was watching on, but it is of my mom's opinion that a 9-year-old doesn't need a phone. I don't think they do either. I think maybe 13, maybe 12, but 13, you can get your first phone. But child, I'm not a parent. I don't have to buy the phone. I don't have to pay the phone bill. So y'all parents, y'all do what y'all think is best for your kids and for your family. But as far as me and my house, that's all I can say about that. Well, I don't know if it was the TikTok challenge, Mom, because TikTok is denying it. It's allegedly, they are alleging that the young girl saw the video on TikTok. So I'm not saying that that's what it is. I'm saying this is what the lawsuit entails, that TikTok should be held responsible because they feel like it was a TikTok video. I don't know if it was or not. So it's just what the family is suing. That is who the family is suing. Okay, but the actual challenge is called the Blackout Challenge. Okay, so it was allegedly based on the report from the family. The 9-year-old was allegedly looking at it on TikTok. Okay, so let's just get that clear. Because I ain't got time for TikTok to be coming after me. I don't know nothing about the company or the challenges that they put out. I actually hear about challenges from other people because I don't have a TikTok account. I don't know much about what TikTok is about except showing videos. And I have watched a few TikTok videos through YouTube. Like if it comes up and it's like a short, I may watch it. And there is this young man, it's a young African-American gentleman that is on, that does TikTok videos, and he does his silently, like he's acting out different things, and it's all silent, and it's hilarious. I watched just a little bit of his clip, and it is hilarious. Like it is so funny. And the fact that he's not saying anything, that he's just acting it out, oh my gosh, it's funny. I don't even know his name. It just kind of came across my suggested videos, and I watched it and I was like, it was so funny. But anyway, yeah, so that's all I have to say about that, y'all. Again, thank you so much for joining me on Sip and Stay with Stephanie. We will be back next week at 6:30 p.m. And I look forward to seeing you all there. All right. Take care and be blessed. Bye-bye.